weekly Dama news, your source of what's been happening in the week of our Kendama sphere. Thanks for joining. I'm your host, MJ. This one's coming at a different time zone. Maybe you'll be a bit surprised to catch me live right now, because usually in the past, I'm usually jamming out a weekly Dama news every Sunday morning, which would actually be Sunday night for me. Right now, in the JP time, it is Monday morning, 11 a.m. This is going to be a good one. We had to switch the times up. For what reason, you may ask? You probably know already. Wyatt Bray will be joining me for today's Dama news. We'll be going through what's been happening within this week, as well as his majority of our talks. Probably going to be like 50-50. We'll be talking with Wyatt about his new spot on the Sulab team and different things that we're going to be looking forward to from the man himself. I have those questions. I do a little work. Got some questions ready. Is this the questions? No, those are the questions. Come on. I hope everyone's doing good. 28 tricks later is almost done. I guess we can start off there. Amazing job, everyone. Pat yourselves on the back because the month has finished. I think, what was it, last year or a year before? Leap year type jams. So there were 29 days of the 28 for February. But you know what? All that aside, there are plenty of people, Kendama players, slayers out there, who have pushed themselves to the limits of not only doing 28 tricks later, but they have been doing many, like 1,000 days of straight Kendama posting every day. And I think one recent one I've seen was, what was his name? This dude from Spain, who is always on the Ouija. Is that a Ouija board? No, the balance board. A Ouija board's this guy, yeah? He's always on that balance board doing Kendama tricks. What was his name? Juaex? He, I believe, or recently has finished 1,000 days of straight posting. Oh, I'm not going to be able to find it now. You guys know what I'm talking about? If you do, let me know in the chat. Another one is, there we go. Sorry, Stacy got it. Jau, yes. Jockstream. Not Jockstrap, the Jockstream, maybe? Yeah. So, come on. Okay. So that was something that was amazing to see, and there's plenty of other players who have done that as well. So, congrats, of course, to 28 tricks later. If you've taken a part of it, having a good time, or not, maybe it's stressing you out, good shit. Do it up. But yeah, he did like 1,000 days. All right. Grasp that. Not to say like, your 28 tricks later that you've been doing is nothing, because it's still a feat that you have defeated. But think about those who have been taking it the mile, extra 5 miles, the marathon runners of posting every day. Kozarov from Deal With It, she did one a few years back, And what is that? Come on, I think 365 days in a year, 1,000 days, 3 years? My math is horrible. So anyone who's a Raymond out there, you let me know. You have to pronounce it the Spanish way. Yeah, Yui did it too. Thank you. That's what I was thinking of, Stacy. Yes, of Yui and Yua, the Chromies, Yui did it as well. Ridiculous. Amazing to see. Wyatt, are you available? You ready? I saw you pop in. So, Wyatt, I would like you to go over the news with me. I'd like to hear your 2 cents of the whole thing. And then, of course, we'll be going in and featuring, having questions for you. But, I got you. What's up, everyone? Thanks for joining. Join, ask to remove, no? Don't want to block him, go live with. There we go. Bam, bam.
Yo.
You just have nighttime routine?
I just ate, so I was like thinking my teeth. So like, I don't want a bunch of gross stuff in my mouth.
Yeah, no. Okay. All right. So everyone, we see how much Wyatt Slay Kendama Bray has been in love with the Kendama so much that he uses it as accessories, decorations for his ceiling fan. Did I just see?
Oh my God, yeah. Look. So like I wonder wait, let me see if I can do it.
Spike, you use that. Oh my gosh. And you turn those on, you've replaced
I have to wait, hold on, I'll just make it work.
beads. So we get the idea.
No, now I'm like, I was like, my one time to flex. I'm so proud of this, you have no idea.
I mean, I don't think, I'm not sure if many other people have thought of that. It's not a bad idea. Any kind of like hanging pendant light where you need to have a pole, it's doable.
Yeah, I set that up like, I don't know what made me think of that, but I was like, that'd be cool if it was Tama's, and I had extra Tama's, like, I think it's like a 98 gram lighthouse Tama, and then like a silk Braymon, and I never play my full Braymon, so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just do it.
There you go. There you go. I mean, a little bigger than would probably be necessary for that, but still,
Definitely.
thanks for joining, Wyatt. Excited to chat with you over the weekly Dama news. For the first half, I want to be, just getting your 2 cents of what's been going on there. There hasn't been too many things that I've picked up. I've had a busy week, and right before this, I didn't have so much time to pick up some news stories. So anyone in the chat, let us know if there's something that caught your eye. But I do have a few things, so we'll be going over that, and then we'll be going into the interview with Wyatt to hear what's the news with being on the lab, right? What kind of lab? The Sue lab, everyone. So we'll be doing a Q&A as well. So fill up that little question tool right down there with some questions. And we'll be hitting those at the end, towards the end of this live stream. All right. So let's get into the news, because there are a few things. And the first one I was mentioning already, Wyatt, 28 tricks later, so many people have been pushing themselves to create new Kendama tricks, or just to be able to post more on their feed, to challenge themselves. What's your whole take on 28 tricks later?
I like it. I think it's sick. It kind of sucks because like your feed just gets clogged with so many tricks. It's hard to see everyone's tricks. So I think it's cool. I think it's a great idea. I think it gets a lot of people who don't necessarily play, not like as much as I would like to see them play. I want to see them play all the time, but this really brings them out, if that makes sense. So I love to see them like pretty much get back into the game and start grinding. It's cool. You get to see some really interesting tricks. But yeah, I love it. It brings a bunch of new tricks to the game. It brings a bunch of players out in the game, but just like to highlight them. And then, besides that, I just think it's a good concept for sure. It clogs your feet a little bit, that kind of stuff.
Totally. Yeah.
I sometimes wish people would take all these 28 tricks and make like an edit, or like, take 14, grind for a trick for like 2 days, like say you can't land a trick one day, like cool, give up, go for it the next day. Not like give up, but like, take a break, go get it. And then like by the end of the month, you have like a solid edit. But again, like I'm kind of like a huge hypocrite there, because I put a lot of my tricks on Instagram the moment I land them. Like I'll go for a trick, and even if I land it 2 days, I'll just immediately throw it on Instagram. So
yes.
I think it's super dope though. Like without a doubt, it gets so many new tricks out there, and it gets so many people super stoked on Dama that not necessarily weren't stoked on Kendama, but it just kind of reignites a lot of Kendama energy, I guess. But I love it. My feed's not like a bunch of like comic books and random stuff right now. Only Kendama when I go on it.
Yes. I love that. Yes. I think that's like one. It's a real challenge for like the personality, the personal player, for you, and how you can push yourself to play more, or where you are in your journey. I feel like you're mentioning, right? It can be maybe difficult or just too much for someone who is possibly like an seasoned player, if you will. But if someone who's like kind of getting into it, learning about this, maybe not like, depending on the personality types, if they're very early on, they could feel like, oh, this is kind of tough to get into. Maybe I don't have the courage or the energy to complete it. But there's a few people who are like, okay, let me challenge myself. And I feel like almost like midway point, this would be a good challenge for people to like, get into it, get involved, like set the camera, like get into the culture of filming, because that is one side of Kendama that you don't have to do, but it is definitely a thing that puts you out there, or lets you connect with others. I mean, I feel like back in the day, that's how most Kendama players got to know each other, was through the internet, because of videos that we put up.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like harrowing back to like the old days of that. So it is good, but it can be stressful. It can clog the feed, yes, but it's not, it's like allergies, it's spring allergies, everyone.
Exactly.
If you don't like it, we'll be gone in a bit.
Yeah, but I was like thinking, like, not for me personally, but like someone needs to just film 28 tricks later in March. You know what I mean? Just be like, wait. And then, bro, if you do that, if you're going to get so much attention, it's just going to be great. Or like, don't even, maybe in March.
Yeah.
Wait till like July, do it in July or something. Just like grind, do a trick every day in July. We're going to be like, yo, what? Like, what?
Yes.
It's coming out of the
completely.
Yeah.
Yep. And I also have the same kind of idea that you were saying, like, you could totally, if you're doing 28 tricks, banger or not, you could create a YouTube edit. And that's like another feat that people have that they could look at within Kendama, of creating an actual edit. We got New Year's new comp edit that is just finished up. So that is one thing that people can try, but it's a little bit more pressure, because you got to do it in the 1 month. But yeah, if you're taking time every day, think about that in your days. What's your routine? Okay, now you're finding 30 minutes to think of a trick, film a trick, and post it on IG for this challenge. As well as, Stacy just mentioned the timing, it's pretty cold. For some people, you guys got hit with like some crazy blizzard recently too?
In Portland? Yeah, bro. Work was closed like 2 days ago. Like my work closed. It was ice all over the ground. It was wild. It was wild.
Yes. So everyone just put that in perspective of, like, of course the challenge is there. It's gonna stay there. But what could you do something in that same fashion on your own terms, or actually move and put some effort into creating a YouTube video?
Yeah, bro, for real. Like I guess I see so many people get so inspired. I like imagine, if like Nick put all his tricks into an edit, like what if he just did that next month too? You know what I mean? Like, you can grind 28 tricks, which is just do that same thing every month. I mean, I know it's hard. It's not easy, but you just got the next month even, like, just keep going. Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to see, I guess that's my favorite. That's what I would love at 28 tricks, is like, if everyone just kept going and never stopped, whoa, Kendama would be at like such a crazy level by next February. Like, it would just be wild.
then the feed would be nonstop.
Yeah, for real.
See we'd be zombified, death scrolling forever, just stuck on this platform. So that's the one thing, like, where I feel like it is abrasive for the viewers of it, so like finding, I don't know, possibly a different place, or like doing the challenge, and then we all just drop them like on as a YouTube edit or something, or like one single day. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's what me and Dylan, when we talk about it, we'll go back and forth, because it's like not like hating on it, but we're not trying to sound cocky, but we're kind of like, we do this year round. Like, we kind of grind year round, not every single day of our lives, but like we're kind of filming 28 tricks throughout the year
as a sponsored player. Exactly. And that's what I was like, I don't know if it goes into that level for you guys,
Yeah, so like Dylan will, I think he was the one that thought of it. It's kind of just obvious. We're both like, yo, like, we should probably not be putting tricks on Instagram this month, because there's so many people putting on tricks. Like, they're just going to get slept on. They're going to get lost in the feed. No one's even going to be able to see them. So just like, I'm just going to grind and edit this month. Like, that was like a couple years ago, Dylan did that. And like, he was just stacking tricks. I think it was for his POV edit. He was just stacking tricks for his POV edit that month. And it was just crazy to see. Like, there's other ways you can do it too. Like, or I guess it inspired me as well, and Dylan, to pretty much not upload onto Instagram and kind of go the opposite route. But I feel like we're kind of not necessarily doing 20 tricks year round, but we're kind of putting out tricks year round. So like, this is a good time to kind of back away from that. Like, let other people kind of do what they want. Like,
exactly.
And it come out on March 1st or whatever.
Dude, I mean, and I've talked about it before, and I've actually had all the clips saved. I should just do it. So this will be my pledge right now here. My past 28 tricks later, I will be grabbing, putting together, compiling, and putting up on YouTube as an edit for people to enjoy there. And I think like Terra has done that before with their players, and I think it was exactly like compilation. Like I think if a team, like if a company does that and grabbing from their team members, like sweeps would be like amazing. You know, they don't have to do everybody. Just pick like on one day it's this person, the next day, day 2 is this person. Just using up their full team, and then there's your team edit. You know.
Yeah. Good point. That's
Interesting.
Yeah. It's like, you know,
Here we go.
not like to hate on 28 Tricks Later.
Exactly.
I think it's great, and I think it brings it together, and I think it really, like, anyone in the community can do it. Like, kind of like you're saying, even if you are a beginner, like, you could just, if you do 28 Tricks Later, you're going to be so much better by the end of the month. Whereas if you're only filming or playing on a trick once a week or once every 2 weeks or once a month, like, if you're playing every day, you're going to get so much better. So, like, no hate on 28 Tricks Later as far as that goes.
And for everyone, low key, like Wyatt just dropped it, the best knowledge. If you want to stand out as a Kendama player, find a time when nobody's posting and go hard for that month. And you'll definitely see a lot of reach. You will definitely see a lot more likes and more follows that are happening because you are constantly in people's feed. Where now, it's like, again, I feel like it's for you personally as a player to put this out, to document and to level yourself up. For the viewers, if we see it, dope. You know, everyone should leave a comment, let them know how amazing that trick was or whatever. But it's just an interesting, different way to think about it, because it has been how many years? 7 years now, as the evolution of Kendama play, the evolution of social media, the evolution of just 28 Tricks Later itself has taken us. And I think there's continually change for the future.
Yeah, that's kind of cool though. Like, that's kind of sick that, you know, like, you're not doing it for other people. You're kind of like, at that point, like, like your shit's gonna get slept on this month, but you're doing it just because, like, I'm gonna be a part of this. Like, I'm gonna do it. I can do it.
Yeah.
Like, you're just pushing yourself to make sure you can grind that hard. Like, if that's an actual accomplishment you're trying to have, like, it's not about, that's perfect, honestly. Now I'm kind of contradicting myself, but kind of like, kind of switching sides. Like, if you are just grinding for 28 tricks just to do it for yourself, that's kind of even sicker though too, because no one's, even not like no one's gonna see it, but you get my point. Like, it's just that's kind of even sicker, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you know, people who I don't know, say example, go to church. They don't brag to people that they're going to church every week.
Yeah,
you know, they're doing it. You're doing it for yourself.
Yeah,
that's what it is. All right, everyone, let's get into the news. So that's it for 28 Tricks Later. Only a few more days, not at all. Congrats everyone who's kicking it and still continuing to do so. Well, let's talk about the next kind of elephant in the room. Chrome released their single unibody liquid. Okay, Liquify. I forgot what it. Yeah, Liquify. Okay, amazing. Last week I compared it to the Yumu that dropped in 2016. Yes, I created a sling Dama. I know in like Taiwan, I've heard that slings at a certain time were like the shit. It was like the lunar of normal Kendama play. Like, it was all about slings. How many slings can you do? So I understand how the company went into, you know, creating a Kendama that was made specifically for it. But all that said, and I think Tio even sent me a shot of some hand turn company out of like Czech Republic who was doing the same thing back then. But out of all of them, Chrome definitely hit it on looks. Some people might say it looks wonky, weird, but if you look at the other one, guys, like, this one looks, okay,
this one, it does. It looks so goofy, but that's like the best part. I remember seeing that, I think in Japan when I was like catching up for the first time, cause I know Davide had one, and I was like, what the fuck? I was laughing so hard, I couldn't stop laughing. Like, it was so funny just seeing that Kendama. Like, what even is this? I didn't even know it was created for gunslingers. I just thought it was, I thought they're
classic, funky,
I thought it was like gonna be they're like April Fool's Dama type of thing, you know what I mean?
Right.
I didn't even put in my brain that it was for gunslingers. And then someone was like, yeah, it's for gunslingers. And then I saw Davide's trick where he's like slinging and then he kicks it off his foot, and he's just slinging the whole time. And I was like, damn, maybe it's pretty honed for gunslingers. Because I know I played it. I don't even know if I played it. I think I just like held it in my hand. I was like, this is hilarious. And that was it. But no, it's dope. It's a fun one.
There's plenty of Kendamas that we've seen fashion themselves and gear themselves towards being the lunar Kendama, right?
Exactly.
because everyone wanted to do that. Gunslinger? What's the next trick that everyone wants to do?
Shit, tightrope, cloud bounce, leg dance. It's kind of hard because like those are like so based on just you being able to do them. You can't really find. I guess tightrope. You could find a kendama that you can tie rope.
So maybe the next round of kendamas, we're gonna have no more spikes,
or like it's gonna have like a groove in the spikes that you can catch it. That's like
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's gonna be like that. You know, so
yeah,
sitting there.
Yes, completely. Or they're just gonna come flat. There's gonna be a new flat tip for people who want to get down with tight ropes and borders.
Yeah, or maybe I'll like come out with like a candlestick one, which is just like the fucking longest spike.
Extremely long,
like super long spike that comes. But that's kind of like any kendama. You can kind of make any kendama like a super long spike, unless you just make the cups come down super far already.
But dude, come on, we want it out of the box. That's what we've gotten to. We've gotten to out of the box. We've passed the phase of the OG days where you got to grind, you got to put in all the hard work, you got to earn that tackiness, right?
Yeah, that's out of the box. It's like,
that's all the past. Yes.
It's 2023. That's you have to be playing it like that.
So there you go. A lot of people were, ragging on the price point, $100 for it, which is, it is steep.
What?
Which you got to think about. Did you see it? Come on. Well, a single piece of wood. So that in itself, if anyone has worked with wood, how would you make that out of one piece of wood?
Okay, I guess that does kind of change things up a little bit. Because even like the tributes when they were one piece, I think they glued them. They were still loose, right? Like
they were just drilled through.
Yeah, they're just drilled through.
Exactly.
I guess that does change it a little bit. Actually,
it's really, really a new concept. I feel that
it's made in China.
It has to be. I'm not sure if it has to be, but I'm guessing it is.
$100 is crazy though.
For a sling dama. Okay, so this is one where it's like you look at it and it's not just a sling dama. It's a piece. Like it's like the collection like this. Like this was like like $60. Okay, I could have bought in a normal kendama with the money I paid for.
Makes that too. Yeah, like you can just
right. But I don't only get it just for its playability. I get for its quirkiness, for putting on the shelf, for being a piece to talk about when your friends come over,
Agreed.
And that's when I feel like it's tough. And I understand the people who are like, oh, man, it's crazy amount for just a sling dama. But it's more than just that, And it's not all their kendamas. You can look at their whole catalog of kendamas and choose one that's not $100.
Agreed. Yeah, I think... I'm not trying to like hate on it. Like, maybe I am trying to hate on it. $100 is money, but I guess
it's fine for you to hate on it.
I'm curious.
That's just what it is. Yeah,
I'm curious how much it cost them to make, because if they're like just trying to like make this $20 kendama and then I don't know if that'd probably be a lot to make for a kendama, but I mean, well as profit they're making. Kendama companies are schemers for sure. I will throw that out there. They do scheme on their prices sometimes, and I'm like, wow, like. I know how much that costs to make, and really upcharging it these days, and there's no reason to do that, except maybe because someone's going to buy it. But at the same time, I don't know how much it costs to make that, and you're right, it is one piece of wood. And
it's one piece of wood. The technology behind it had to have been, pushed a little bit to the limit, so it's definitely more expensive than your traditional kendamas, as well as they know it's not
collectors.
Exactly. It's not going to be there forever. It's definitely a limited. Yeah. So just like the Pixel that they released, right?
Yeah, exactly.
This is the one. This is it. So they're like, we're going to do this run. And if they're going to put in the money to tell the company, the factory, to make a way to build it and then just be like, okay, we're not going to use that technology anymore, then it's kind of a loss.
Yeah.
So that's going to go up,
Agreed. If it's just like a fun collector's piece too, if I was a collector, like I'm going to buy it. I had like a lot of money pair of shoes that I know is going to be that, like, not a lot, but I've spent more than I should have because I just want the shoes so bad. You know what I mean? So like I get it for sure, but yeah, it's just a lot of money. I guess $100 is just a lot of money. But again, collector's pieces are collector's pieces. It's like the big super tall kendama. I know the ones that they gave out at World Cup. Like I know Dylan has that in the back of his car. Or he did last time I was in California, and like
that foot long
bust out and mess around with. Like it's almost worth it just for the memories of playing some wonky Kendama. So.
Yes, exactly. So that's where I see it stand, everyone. Everyone has their own opinion. That's totally fine, but it is what it is. And we say in Japanese, shogunai, which means deal with it. You can't do anything about it. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
This is what it is. Next one, sweet kendamas, can only options. They're coming back, as well as hardwoods, exotic woods are coming back. This is one thing I really loved about kendamas, and was sad to see them go. So I'm happy to see them come back, especially with a big company like Sweets. All the other brands are going to be like, oh shit, let's get on. Let's release a Purple Heart version.
Yeah, agreed. I think yeah, I guess companies are doing that now, but I think it's just like necessary. I know I'll use for my Sulab Thomas, they'll last me on like 4 or 5 cans. So say I was like not sponsored and didn't get free cans, I would definitely want to just have my Sulab Thomas, and to save money, just buy this Sweets can. It's also really sick too. I guess, to finish what I was saying, then you can just buy the Sweets can, or you can buy 3 Purple Hearts or 3 Maples or whatever you prefer to play, and just swap them out on that Tama. Because Sulab lasts so long that you can use them over and over again. I think if I was using like just a basic, not basic, but like just a normal Tama, they do wear down just as quick as the can most of the time for me. But if I have like a sturdier one, then I'll probably, actually I can't take that back. I feel like I've always used a few cans on one Tama. Especially once they break in and you want to stall them, then I want a fresh can to install. So I think it's like such a necessary thing, It kind of reminds me of skateboarding, how you'd buy your wheels, and then your wheels, so you'd replace them, but not your board. You're not just buying it complete.
Exactly.
You get 3 cans. This one's a good weight for this Tama. This one's a good weight for that Tama. You don't have to like bank on getting full Purple Heart setup and the Tama being 20 grams lighter or something.
Yes. That's an interesting thing. And I remember Coop was mentioning on their little video for this on the Sweets IG that they're weighted. So I'm not sure. I didn't check out the website, but possibly you might be able to choose a specific weight, and that is a game changer.
That's game
for Ken only options. Yeah,
next level. Yeah, that's amazing. I know, like Kendama Depot. Shout out Kendama Depot for doing that at their booth. They had weights on all their stuff, and that was like, damn, that is so sick. Oh, so did Quan. Quan did that at their booth this year too. They had they had little tags. They have the price, and then have the weight of the can, and which is to me, I'm such a weight guy. I'm such a I need to have the perfect weight. So like if it's not, like I'll tweak out. I can't always tell, but most of the time I can tell the weights of them, and it'll bug me if it's wrong.
Yes. Depending on the different play style, as well as what your preferences are, everyone, But it could be an issue.
Shout out Sweets too, because they did both their shapes. They did the Galaxy shape, and then I think it's called the Amped shape. When I saw that too, it's both shapes, so you can choose what shape you prefer too. I think that's another game changer. I feel like most companies usually have their main shape. You know what I mean? Like I know, like my company, No Jumper, they just drop their main shape when they do Ken onlys. And I think I'm trying to think who else does it. I don't know. I just feel like most people have their main shape, and that's what they'll drop it on, because that's their favorite. But to drop it on like 2 different shapes, that's it.
Yeah. Definitely. As well as in this case with Sweets, the G-Spot Dama is like only specifically made for a few of the Kendamas, not all of them. So it's a great chance now that to pick one up. If you didn't like, an option of a Tama for full complete, it's like, oh, I didn't like that design, I didn't like those colors, but I want to try the shape.
Yeah, exactly. Good point.
There you hit it. Next one, hey, talking about options of, swapping out more on the path of a skateboard where you can swap things in and out. Soul is releasing Tama, not only Tama only, but Ken option. I was a bit surprised about this because I was like, I'm interested to see if people would really want the Kens. Maybe they have a past Soul, thrashed version of the Shibuyas, and then they need a new Ken, possibly.
Well, those Kens are like I was gonna say American made. I think they're made in Japan, but
they're made in Japan. Yep.
They're made in what's the factory name? Why am I forgetting it?
The Easy Clip. Oh no, that's the name of the Thomas. Leg up shape.
Yeah, no, but Legacy.
Leg.
I'm snake ship means. I think that's what the that's where they make them, is the Legacy factory. So they're all made on like really high quality wood.
Yes,
And I think they're
yes.
kind of made how like just how Quad does it, just how Craft does it, is they turn it and then they fine tune it. I think that's how all those are made. I could be mistaken on the exact process, but I know the quality of the wood's so much higher. That's why the price is so much higher. So they last a lot longer. I know when he's playing crafts.
Yeah.
So as I say, I know when I was playing crafts, the craft cans would last me so much longer because of the quality of wood, and now the production that was put into it by Ryan, whoever was making them. And so that's pretty much their version of that.
Exactly. There's a reason everyone who's thinking about like, why are the crafts like a little more expensive? It's like, why? It's like hand turn stuff. It's not only the fact that it's hand turn and it takes more time and that's why it's more expensive. It's also the fact that it will last you longer. It is a higher quality piece of wood because the person turning it, who's handcrafting it, is looking at the wood to see and figure out like what part of the kendama this should be. If this is, now there's a weird knot, or like this is going to be kind of weak, we're not going to use that piece of wood. So that is something, yes, that the company, the factory here in Japan does. And to let everyone know, they make the Legacy as well as Stu Labs. I actually don't know if there's any other brand that they make specifically.
Yeah.
So
maybe GT did one with them, but I can't.
GT did one, in the past, yes.
But it was like a collab or like a one.
Exactly, yep. So that is definitely one. But so if anyone's thinking about like, like Sulab, even the Kens, even those like standard versions, those are all now made in this factory in Japan. It's not made over in Hyundai anymore.
Yeah.
So
that's why the price point is up.
Quality's pretty good.
Yeah, and it's just like a higher quality one. If you want your Ken to last longer, that's what you want to go for. I don't know how that quickly would chip or anything like that, but I know they're more durable. They play a lot different, 100%. I know I talked to Kevin about it, and he was pretty much saying like, yeah, this one's been lasting me for however long, and he had one stashed, and I was trying to take it from him, and he wouldn't let me have it. But yeah, and I think the cups are a little bigger. I think they're a little bigger, and I can't remember what else is different, but there's,
might be a little thicker ribs,
one update for sure. So
yeah, definitely you'll see a lot of crispier edges with these styles compared to any Hyundai China-made kendamas, everyone. Okay, well, let's blast through just these last few points that I have, and then we'll go into our talks with Wyatt more about his new spot on Sulab. Okay, next one is, hey, trying to find new kendama brands when they come out, just put them on the spotlight a little bit, let everyone know if it's something you're interested in. Kendama Woodburners and Tama Kendama got together for a collab. The Tama Kendama, they are collabing with the Tamas. Looks like silk and sticky. I mean, this always almost looks like an extra glossy than a normal sticky. But Kendama, here is their shape. Very wide, fat, edged out Sarado.
Wow.
Look at that. Look how long that string is. It's like a belt on.
Holy shit.
I mean, you get like this one.
Well, my Kendama is like that too. That's a really long string.
That's really long.
Look at that spade. Look at that handle stall.
Handle stall's super chunky, super beefy. Interesting, different shapes coming out, and especially from these, smaller companies who want to stand out from the crowd. So go check it out, everyone, if you're spying and interested on a different type of shape.
I'm interested. It kind of looks like how Quad does it. I think how the Gallagher shape is, where it kind of sharpens at the point at the Serrato too.
Oh yeah, possibly, yeah. Interesting to see what the spike looks like. I don't think there's no pictures of the spike itself. What's there? Oh yeah, there is. Oh yeah, no, super sharp spike. Watch out.
Nice. That's like, listen sharp. I kind of like that. I want to try that shape.
All right, here's another one for the Euro homies. Max Angel's going on a tour, not a world tour, a Euro tour.
Gas.
To celebrate his pro mod and his announcement of being pro on Terra. This is really cool. I'm glad to see pandemic is almost dead, possibly, but tours happening. Max Angel is, I don't know what he's doing, maybe school in Europe right now. Is he in Germany or some shit? But this is like one reason why I see like in Europe, why like Chrome was such a big deal, why everyone knew Chrome, because of course the people, it's their community there, right? And to see possibly now Terra making moves by, I don't know, was it planned? Was Smith like, yo, Max, get over to Europe?
Yeah, bro, I wonder now. Like, he's from Canada. I had to think about that. So he's just out there seshing. I wonder what he's doing out there. Now I'm curious.
But still, I mean, he is seshing and making connections, and it's really cool to see just that love, that partnership, being connected and being strengthened. And hey, like tours coming back. You know, everyone loves a tour.
Is he doing it during EKC? When is it?
It is through March 4th, 8th, 12th, 19th, and to April 7th.
Dang.
There you go.
Oh, Ezra just said it. He's in school in Germany. So that's sick. That's cool. Yeah.
There you go.
Germany's so sick. I'm so jealous of that. Germany's
next one we saw. This one I feel kind of shitty because I'm like, yeah, I know her, but I don't know her name. Kendama ALS seems like she's back on the scene.
I think it's Allie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. A Ripper, yeah, that's what it was. Yes. Yeah. From Seoul Kendamas, who was on the track to being a very, very skilled, high profile player in the female ring, women's ring for Seoul Kendamas, but then at a young age, you know, maybe school, we don't know. A lot of shit happens with Kendama players or in our lives, I should say, has dipped out, but comes back with resurgence. Seoul OG, definitely. So everyone, it's cool to see when they come back, because sometimes our prayers are answered and those OG pros or players, slayers, come back.
Yeah, sorry, I got so distracted. Kiana's like snoring behind me, and she's like passed out on the couch, and like my cat's just like staring so concerned at her, like
everything,
okay, buddy,
everything good? She's like,
she's fine, she's just snoring. He like thinks she's dead or something.
Oh, the cat's like, yo, that's my spot.
Yeah. I'm gonna let
time to leave.
Sure, she is fucking howling. Sorry, I've like never heard her snore this on. She must be really tired. But yeah, Allie's the shit. I met her on many occasions. She's really cool. She's a really cool person. I'm super stoked to see her come back. Yeah, it's sick. It's sick.
There you go. And last one I have saved up, everyone. Quad Kendama's new video out on YouTube right now. Battle at the Border is released. It's about 10 minutes. It says right there, times 10 minutes. Why? You got a little feature. You got 2 tricks in here as well.
I got only 2. I swear I had more.
Maybe 3. I remember 2.
That's true too.
Yes. The double Bray action was in effect. Yeah.
Yeah, double Bray action. Exactly. That's like what I'm most excited about.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's out. Having YouTube, everyone.
I got off work, came home, ate food, and then pretty much got on here. But I've been waiting to see that video because, yeah, I was like kicking it with the quad squad pretty much that whole trip. I stayed in their Airbnb, so like I was filming a bunch of them.
There you go. There you go. That's the weekly Dama News roundup, everyone. We got some time now. We're going to go in and talk about Wyatt Bray's new spot on Sue Lab. It's been announced. You know, Sue spilled the beans a few months ago to me, whispering in my ear, there's a new player coming on the team. Super excited for that, just because, like, you know, I know that Wyatt is one of the most dedicated players out there, has so much heart and passion into this wooden toy that we all play with, that it is just like such a great fit, because Sue really, really enjoys and takes a lot of heart his whole process and his kendamas, his brand that he's created over the 10 years now. And it's amazing, awesome to see. So let's just go right into it, dude. How long have you been asking? You made a little post, a story. You said you've been waiting this for years. Has it been actual years that you've been wanting to be on Sue Lab?
I've wanted to be on Sue Lab, like, yeah, for one, I mean, they're so sick. I want to be on like every company, but Sue Lab in particular is just like the dream come true to me. I got my first friction clear Tama, and I think it was my first Sue Lab when I was in Japan in 2019 for Cash and Flow. Chad gave me a great. I was like, I need a Tama. I was playing a Konami USA triple stripe, blue triple stripe, and it was super slick. You know, those super slick ones.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do anything with it. Like I couldn't land anything. It's so slick. And I was like, yo, do you have like an extra Tama that I can just stash? And he was like, here, you can have this one. And it was like before the hype, right? It was before everyone was tweaking out. It was before the resellers.
Yes.
And he was like, yeah, you can have this one. And pretty much gave me the green sea life Tama. Oh, I have it right here. I'll pull it out real quick. But
the collab one that they did.
Like, oh, you okay, buddy? My cat hopped up. I picked up the yellow. Ow! God damn it! Sorry. I hit my knee. But yeah, and then but yeah, here, Pete. I still have it, and like, yeah, look at the condition of it. Still, this is what I'm talking about. I've played.
That's the one you competed at Catch and Flow with. No,
I literally have played this. Not this year. I had different sea life Tomas this year. Wait,
okay. No, you had a green one. Yeah.
I did compete with this. You're right.
Yeah.
It's still the best one. It's still the best one I have, which is kind of funny. Or, not anymore. Now I have a bunch. But before I was sponsored, this was the best one I had for sure. Or like it's just held up the most and the stickiness has stayed the most.
Yes.
Yeah, I could still play it today if I really was desperate. You know what I mean? I'm not as desperate as that anymore. But yeah, I was really excited to get this one.
Nice. But so it's been years. So it's been years.
But yeah,
wanting to.
And I was like, oh my God, this Tom is so good. Like I can't get over how good this Tom is. Like it's like not a Kush, but it's like that level of good.
Yes. Yeah.
But way better than the Kush, honestly.
Because you get that slip to stick ratio like right away, and how again, like you're mentioning, that how long it lasts is amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, let me. My cat's tweaking. I'm gonna throw my Gianna, bro.
It really takes a really good grinding to have the paint come off and chip off. Like I've seen Sue show me plenty of his Damas where he would just specifically just for testing out the durability, just thrash them to see how much it's held up.
Yeah, I've never like that just reminded me of this video. So I'll tell you about it later. But yeah, I've never had a Tama that's lasted this long, which is really good for me because I do so many down spikes that it kind of thrashes it so quick. But yeah, that doesn't happen with these anymore. I still have like ones that Sue sent me that are fresh, and I'm just waiting to bust them out. But yeah, anyways, that happened, and it kind of gave me like a whole new love for Sue and what he does, and just his whole brand in general. Like before that, I was always a fan of Sue. I loved going to the shop. I love the atmosphere that he brings. Just whenever you go to that shop, which I know is not around anymore, but it was just like such a fun time. He really made it a really friendly vibe, and he always made sure to like get the American player, or excuse me, just all the foreign players when they came to Japan, like to his shop to have like a good, like wholesome family experience is what it really felt like, which I really enjoyed. But yeah, anyways, flash forward, like I'm on Kendama USA. I didn't really think it was ever an option. Kendama USA, I joined NJK. I'm on there, and I remember I brought it up with him then. I was like, I think I must have brought it up because I have been repping Sulap for a while, been sessioning like, I had this one, I got the blue
Batman one, of course. Yeah,
I had the Batman. I had a few. I had a few, but not enough. And then I was pretty much like, yo, like, what do you feel about doing a dual sponsorship? Like, I am sponsored by you guys for pretty much your Tamas. I rep your Tamas, and then I also was sponsored by NJK. I do all this, and at the time, like, I think like NJK kind of shot it down, and Sue kind of shot it down. They're like, like, doesn't really work that way. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Cool. Like, it's all good. But
yeah.
At the same time, like, NJK didn't care if I played them or not. They made that very clear. Like, you can play Sue Lab Tamas all you want. And like, Sue sent me a few Tamas over the years. Like, yo, I got you. Like, here's some Tamas. And I've kind of just I don't only play Sue Lab Tamas, but I play Sue Lab Tamas just as much as I play any other product that I play, you know? So it wasn't like I was sponsored, but I was playing like I was sponsored by them and kind of tagging them and doing all that. And then, long story short, like I just really wanted to be a part of the Sue team. But it couldn't really happen because I was already on No Jumper, which to me, I was like, totally makes sense. Like, I get it. It's not really been done before. But then flash forward to last trip in Japan, and I'm kind of like, yo, like, you remember a while back? Yeah, I was looking at his box of just seshers that he lets anyone sesh when they come in, and it was like a fucking gold mine. It was like,
it's all the old like
Joker,
Ayaka mods,
so many amazing Tamas, and I was like, let me buy them. I'll buy them from you just let me. What do you want for these? Like I'll take not all of them, but like nah, I'll buy a couple of these off you. I need them. I had no pressure. Still, like you saw, I was playing the green one. I was pretty desperate at that point. And Sue, he was like, bro, like I'm not gonna sell you these. Is pretty much what he's like. I'm not gonna do that. And then I think like I don't know if he made the decision then or before, but he's pretty much like, we'll sponsor you though, you know. And I was like, what? And he pretty much was like, yeah, like I'm cool with doing the dual sponsorship. And at that point, I was like, well, we're doing it. Like I didn't even
Cha-ching.
yeah, JK. I just accepted. You know, I like pretty much just like, oh, let me like talk to my bosses, but at the same time, like, they're gonna be down. Like I'm gonna convince them no matter what. Like it's gonna happen. And then like didn't really care what I do anymore. So yeah, I kind of just sent it. Got that dual sponsorship worked out, which is pretty much like, again, like it's like a dream come true to me. I'm gonna be playing pretty much the Ken shape that is my favorite Ken shape, and I get to play it on the best Tamas in the world. And I can say that like confidently. I know it's my opinion, but I think the whole community kind of agrees that it is the best Kendama or the best Tama in the world. Shapes, there's so many different shapes. Not everyone can choose, but I'm playing my favorite shape, and on top of that, I can design my own shape whenever I want to go with that. But I also get to play the best Tamas in the world for, you know, hopefully the rest of my life. I don't want to ever not play that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to play Sulabs for the rest of my life. I don't think maybe there's going to be a better Tama coming out, but even then, like, I'm cool with Sulabs. Like, I'm very set, and I think that's kind of like the pinnacle of like the peak of Tama making heights. You feel me? There's probably going to be around it, but I think Sulab is really one of the best Tamas out there.
Yeah.
And if you don't have pick it up. But yeah, pretty much that's kind of how it worked out. And now that's kind of I feel like I'm kind of living like every Kendama player's dream. I get these Kendamas pretty much on a regular basis, and I get to play them as much as I want.
Of course, especially being shipped from Japan, everyone, right? It's like an extra like $20-$30 just for shipping. So that's another thing that can, you know, deter people from picking up a Sulab. There's the membership thing, and there's the price of the Kendama itself, and then it's like, oh wait a second, as you're checking out, it's an extra $30 for certified mail. Okay, but you can allow you. And yeah, like you said, you're in a really good position to just be enjoying the Sulab Tamas.
Yeah,
for who knows how long to go.
Yeah, and his rules are pretty simple. You know, like don't sell them and just put these tags in, and like you're good to go. And that's kind of like how the sponsorship works. It's like play this. Yeah. I'm like, all right, that's I can definitely do that. You know, so
yeah,
sick.
Exactly. And in the past, everyone, Sulab has been one of the only companies that has taken on double sponsorship. Back when Takuya was on the team, it was Kendama Israel and Sulab with Takuya. And then even before that, oh man, talking about GT Kaito, he was on the Sulab team for a while, and then he wanted to become GT. And for possibly like a few months, maybe like 6 months, he was a dual sponsorship. And then he left Sulab and then went full GT. So it's not something completely new to Sue, but it is still a very rare sight to see within the Kendama community, which, you know, you look at others big sports, you know, like skateboarding, whatever kind of sport. And usually, you know, there's here and there, you know, you got shoe sponsorship, you got clothes sponsorship, which is kind of picking up in Kendama clothes, you know, becoming a brand and stuff. So we'll see what else.
I want to make a shoe.
Sure,
dude. We need bears out. Just waiting for it. Like,
I mean, I think the next like big one would be like Ken Hall, you know, out of Japan.
Yeah.
They got the finger sleeves and stuff. I know you rock a glove. You know, you do the bunny jacking glove thing.
Needed, bro. Yeah. But I totally I didn't even realize that Kaito was on Sulab. It makes sense now. Now that I think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. But yeah, Takuya had it. Takuya dipped, and they were like, well, we'll give the spot to Wyatt. Just kidding, man. I'm here.
Well, yes. And I mean, another thing is, there's not so many. There's almost zero Western players for Sulab. You know, they had Mikey for a while, but he was focused on his career and stuff, so he kind of declines after a little bit. But to see you now, totally forefront, still rocking as hard as you can and pushing yourself, and then, bringing Sue with you, which, I mean, there's no need to put more hype around Sue, but it's icing on the cake, bro.
Yeah, I like what you
Completely.
said about the skateboarding sponsorships. I think Kendama is a lot different than skateboarding, where like kind of like you like wear out your wheel, right? And you replace that wheel, kind of what we were talking about with the cans and stuff. You buy wheels from a wheel company, or you buy your deck from a deck company,
Dude,
and
bearings.
bearings from Bug, whatever it is. But with Kendama, every Kendama company is going to make your Kendama setup. But clothing's always different, or like shoes would be different. But yeah, you're going to buy your Tama and your Ken from them. But yeah, it kind of looks like it's kind of venturing into a different realm where, you buy like a shape or a Tama paint more than another one. And that it's not patent, but you're not going to steal someone's paint if they make their own shape. Like their own paint. Like one, you got to figure out the formula, and two, if you were to steal it, you suck. Like that's really no. So yeah, I think that would be cool if it opened the door to more players getting dual sponsorships. Like if Sweets were to start sponsoring people for like, they had like, if they made Kush, like its own company, that would be a really cool thing, I think.
I think, the whole like Tama only option, because I think that's the one thing that is really like special. Ken's, it's so varied, only depending on the type of shape that each company makes, but as well as the player and the play style. You got to test them all out and figure out which ones fit you. Even at that time, I'm sure, there's tricks back in the day that you could do that you've like evolved from, and therefore you couldn't use that Ken anymore. Like it made no sense, right?
Yeah.
And so, but the Tamas, it's all about, it's all round.
Yeah.
You don't want no fucking, can I grab it without tipping anything over? You don't want this Tama. No one wants that. No one's going to be sponsored by this shit.
That's fun.
So the Tamas are always going to be there. There's going to be round. Bevels, can be a little bigger here and there, but the paint is where it's going to differ. And if you're getting the only time, where there's monopoly right now with Hundui, and you either get silk or sticky. That's it. No matter what it's called, if it's AF, if it's LOL clear, whatever, it's all going to be the same. But
it's all from the same factory. Yeah.
But even this factory in Japan that has their different companies that they make for, there's a slight difference in their ingredients. But it's something that stands out from the rest of the crowd, which is only pretty much Hundui, unless you're hand painting something, which quality depends on how long, durability, lasting, and whatnot. The next question, dude. I saw that you were using a lot of quad cans in your announcement edit for Sulab. What's the story behind that?
See, people keep asking me if I'm quad. I'm not on quad.
Just if you're repping hard, will it be maybe another few years, just like Sulab?
I don't know. Like, not like I'm still on the jumper as of now. Yeah, they've made some decisions recently that have frustrated me for sure. So like, I've kind of stepped away from playing their Kendamas. Probably shouldn't even say that, honestly. But yeah, definitely like not too.
Yeah, no, don't worry. No, what he said was, I'll translate. He said, pick up the new burrito mod.
Yeah, like buy my new pro model, please. Don't not buy that. It's great. I've been filming tricks with it nonstop the past week. Like I definitely want to promote it a little more, but yeah, like not really too stoked with what's going on with that company right now. Kind of hung out the quad guys when I was in Nashville and just kind of like stoked on their shape, and I was like, damn, I pretty much like AJ and the guy who was like, I love your shape. And he was like, cool, I'll send you a package. And so he sent me like a pretty fat pack. And Kiana gets hooked up from them all the time. Like she's been getting Kenamas from Quad for free for like a year, I swear, for so long. So I kind of was stealing hers for a little bit and sessioning them. And then once I started stealing hers, like I pretty much like, yo, I love these, and I filmed a few tricks with them. In Nashville, I stayed with them. They had 100 sitting on the table, so I was like, let me get one. And he gave me one, and they sent me a package of a bunch of them. So like, since I got that package, I've just been repping them, like not even like intentionally repping, just ripping on them, just like really enjoying the shape and like enjoying like kind of like a fresh can, cause I miss the hammer shape. Like I love playing it, and for that head I was playing a lot of quads, but it wasn't anything intentional. I'm not on quad. Like, again, like Soul is probably the spot I would want to be on if I wasn't on no jumper. Like I really like Soul Kendamas. So like I know I probably should play those more too if I was going to know. But yeah, again, I'm sounding like throwing
all over
spot and then pretty much no
interrogation or it wouldn't fucking light.
I'm still on NTK. I'm still like, there's nothing I can do about that. I'm still on their team as of now. Yeah, I'm playing quads because they're fun and they're all the homies and they've been hooking me up. But yeah, yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm like,
next question.
Quick one was just did you try the newest Sulab shape, the newest Absolute, which is kind of at least the base cup reminiscent to the quad, where it's that fat the ring, the slip ring is kind of sitting lower on the can and it's got a chunky base cup. You try that?
Yeah. I haven't tried it. I haven't tried any of their cans. Like, not like this kind of sounds dickish too, but like Sue just sends me Thomas. Like I think he just knows. Like,
yeah, that's what you're after.
Like,
yes.
Send you a box of Thomas. Like, have
yes.
Them. Like exactly. It's kind of like I think he knows, but
that's the right. Yeah,
it can as well. I would have not. Probably would have been a perfect time to send me one. You know, like because I'm definitely seshing other shapes right now, and like that's the other thing too is I'm definitely want to design my own shape going forward. Like I want my own shape. I've helped create a lot of shapes, but I haven't designed one completely by myself. So like, yeah, I would love to try it out. I've been trying a lot of different shapes recently. And
yeah.
I haven't seen it. I haven't played it. I don't know if they had any in Japan, but if they did, I didn't get to stash them. So
yeah. Sue just popped in. Sue, 聞いた? Wyatt がなんか剣も欲しいっつって。Friction Clay もちろん欲しいけど、新しいね、剣も試してみたい。So there you go. Okay, so I just told him that, send you a few Kens your way too. Let's open up and hit some Q&A from everyone that's been stacking questions. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. From Starry Stacy. What weights do you like? Heavy setup? Light? What do you want?
I'm kind of like pretty average. I like
75-ish?
I was going to say 76 Ken, 78 Tama, or maybe 75, 77 Tama. I like my Kens 2 grams lighter than my Tamas, and I like them to stay in the mid to upper 70s. Anything in the lower 70s I can play for sure. I don't mind. And recently, all my burrito mods are super heavy weighted Kens. So I've been playing 82 is the lowest weight I found for a Ken and a Tama. So I've been playing 82, 84. But all of them are 89 grams, which just kind of sucks. All the ones that got sent to me, which kind of sucks, but I've been kind of forced to play those. So I've been seshing those recently. But what I prefer, my favorite shape, if I could get the holy grail, is 76 with a 78 gram Tama. But yeah, Steve sent me pretty much all the Tamas Stu sent me were 81 grams. So all my Kens, I wanted to be around 79 grams. It doesn't always work out, but that's what I'm trying to find as much as possible to match those Tamas. So I definitely can fluctuate. It's not like I have to play that, but preferred 70, 76, 78. That's what I would say. Or 77, 79.
There you go. Let's scroll down and see what else we have. Oh my gosh, randomly, I just scrolled to the bottom to grab one. Stacy's put in more. Is there going to be a Sulab Wyatt mod?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but I asked Sue about it. I Sue in the chat what the fuck? I asked Sue about it, and he said, yeah, we can make a mod. So yeah, I have it in my head. It's for now, we just
classic Sulab colorway. As usual, there's a little things that you can change. Oh,
there are the scheme, and I don't know if it's possible yet. I don't know if I should even say it.
No,
I'm not going to say it. I'm not keeping it a secret, but I have a scheme, and I think it's a really good scheme. I don't know if Sue can do it, but I think
we'll see.
From what I have a vision, and I think he can do it based on the Thomas that he's created already. But I also don't know if I should do it. We'll find. You'll see. But yes, there's a scheme. It should be happening. Push for it. Leave a bunch of comments saying why mod, and maybe we can get it. It'll get me on it.
Just to let everyone know, in the past, Sulab has created models for his pro team. And not only, of course, Tamas, being specifically designed or colored by those people. But in the past, maybe not this last one, but a year or two ago, he released different styles of Kens as well, or different wood choices. So depending on the player, they were able to choose a different style of angle to their base cup or something, or the different types of like Sarado wood or something. So technically, Wyatt, you're not on the pro team.
Yeah. I don't. It's hard to. It's like such a weird gray area. I don't know what. I don't know what.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. But I like. I'm on the team. I'm officially on the team. I think what the title we were gonna give myself was the like U.S. ambassador is what we were gonna call it. Okay. So that's why I was like, yo, do I get to make a Tama? And that's the thing. If I did get something with Sulap, it wouldn't be the Ken. It would just be the Tama.
It might be. Yeah. Might be a Tama one-off.
Yeah, it would be like a Tama one. Hopefully, we'd make a pretty decent amount. But yeah, that would be the idea. Is that whatever I would pair it with whatever shape I was playing at the time from the company that I was on.
Yeah, I'm awesome. Yes. There's never enough. There's never enough. Okay. Next, but hopefully, there's a few people. When can we expect a Bray mod Sutama? Another one is no, he will wait. Hey. From part,
why I beat Sam, Ken, and Ken? Yes, I can beat Sam and Ken. Maybe not. Okay, like Parker's trigger me. Parker's just trying to trigger me. All right, 2015 Wyatt. Okay, here's the thing, and no one. Okay, like Parker, get out of here. But nah. Long story short, I have a really hard time. Like, not anymore. I think I'd be fine playing Sam Cannon these days. But a lot of times, I think Sam would agree with this. But like, I'm definitely better than him now, I guess. And not even in a disrespectful way, Sam Cannon is my favorite Kendama player. But when we play each other in competition, I don't even think Parker knows this. I don't even know why I'm saying it, but he always beats me. He always finds a way to beat me, and it's because it's a mental game that he gets into my head. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm playing Sam Cannon. And he knows that, even though we're such good friends. So he always gets me with that. But if we played Ken, he could beat me, I could beat him. It could go either way. When it comes to real competition, like on the stage, Sam's taken more dubs against me than I've taken against Sam, even though that shouldn't be the case. Like, I think I have a better mental game, and I hopefully it doesn't sound douchey, but I think I am more skilled than him these days. And I should be winning. I guess we both talked about that. Like, I should be winning against him, but I don't. He gets every time, and it's been happening for years. And back in the day, it was a little more acceptable, but these days, I don't know. Hopefully, me and Sam get to play again. We'll find out. We'll
see.
But he'll say like one thing to me, and I won't be able to handle it.
The Hag Lord is no one to be taken lightly. Next one. Hey. Is a Chomador?
That's my cousin
Isaac wants to know. He wants to know. Come on, even the old one? He wants a free Dama.
Yeah, I love Isaac. He can get a freaking out whenever he wants, bro. You have to remind me before the next family party the next time we hang out. Like, I'll show up at a family party without a Kendama farm, and he's like, where's my Kendama? And I'm like, bro, you've been saying this to me. You got to remind me before I come out and bring you one. Like, I'm not just going to, I don't just walk around carrying all these freshies for you, you know? But no, he knows I have him. He's just mad because I told him I was going to order him Kendamas from Kendama USA, and then I left the team, and then he sent me his order.
Dude, it's been that long, I can understand why he's a little, upset.
Well, this was back right when I left. So I was like, yo, yeah, hit me in, go to Kendama USA and pick what you want, and I'll have them ship it to you. And then he hit me back 2 months later, or however, I left the team, and I was like,
it's done.
Can't really get those for you anymore, bro. Sorry, it's not how it works. I can get you a Kendama from my crib, but he wanted a pill. That's why. He tried to get a pill from me. I was like, I cannot get you a free pill anymore. Sorry, bro. You can have one of my sesh ones, but that's kind of gross. But yeah, that's why it's an inside joke we have.
Next one, Ben asks, your favorite wood type?
Oh, well, I love bamboo, but it can be really finicky. It can be really hit or miss with bamboo. So I would say maple is probably my favorite of all time. Just maple on maple. I know a lot of people like beach Thomas, and I kind of agree. These days, I kind of only play beach Thomas, so I'm kind of okay with it. But I like maple Thomas. I like beach Thomas. I like ash Thomas.
I was about to say a lot of the Sulabs are ash.
Yeah, I was gonna say the ash Sulabs play really well. Maple Sulabs play really well, and yeah, beach plays really well. So yeah, I can kind of go with any of those three for Thomas. Maple's my favorite, or actually bamboo. I would say Maple's my favorite because it plays the best, but bamboo has like a special place in my heart. You know, like it's kind of like it's one of my first loves. I just have always loved bamboo cans. Bamboo on bamboo makes such a loud noise when you spike it and when you just do anything on it. It's a fun time doing that. It's a fun experience, and it's not that bad.
There you go. Next one, T Daddy. How do you get into the hone zone to film and edit?
I don't know. I kind of just play, and it kind of depends on the day. That's what I noticed recently. I'll play through it. I'll play through me sucking. Like some days I just suck, and some days I just wake up and I'm really good at Kendama, and I have no idea why. Maybe it's sleep, maybe it's whatever. And if I'm doing really bad that day, I'll kind of play through it, and sometimes I end up getting my trick still, and sometimes I don't. But I definitely like to listen to music while I play. I definitely like to be in an environment where I'm not affected by outside issues. So like weather, getting kicked out of spots, which seems to happen all the time when I find an indoor spot or a spot that's like undercover. And yeah, tweakers. I live in like not the best part of town, so like I've had to deal with tweakers like trying to hit my camera and stuff, and that kind of sucks. So I try to find certain spots where I know I'm not going to be bothered. I guess that's kind of where I'm not going to be a place where I'm not going to be bothered by other people.
Environment
away from the environments of the world, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And music, plenty of batteries, so you're not about to land your trick and miss it. But sometimes I practice before I film. Sometimes I don't practice at all. Sometimes I just start playing. It all kind of depends on the day.
All right. Oh, this one's not working. Come on. It's not working. But Nicholas asks, I think it's Nicholas, thoughts on new gen players.
What do you mean? Like
thoughts. What are your thoughts? New gen players. You think?
I think they're sick. I think
that's what it's about. You think they should respect, look back at the old? Should they be, trying to land, I don't know, like hanging one turn up like airplane 5 times before doing a juggle, kind of, maybe? That's the how I see it.
Yeah, I do what you want. Do what you want. Do what you love. Kendama's, don't play Kendama for anyone but yourself. So if you want to do like all Ben Harrell tricks, like go for it. If you want to do like cloud bounces and lake goons, go for it. I know that I have been made fun of for the way I play Kendama so many times throughout playing Kendama, and I've kind of pushed past all that, and I think I'm kind of past that point where people kind of understand that, like, the way I play is really cool. Like, I guess the way I play is just the way I'm gonna play, and I'm not gonna really do what the trend is at the time. So, I guess as far as new gen players go, it's not my favorite style of play, if I'm being completely honest. Like, cloud bounces, I love legumes, but cloud bounces, tie ropes. Actually, tie ropes are sick, but I guess like cloud bounces, the loops, and the loopy style, and those kind of spacewalks.
Yeah,
those are my favorite. I'm not a huge fan of them, and to me, I kind of see them like someone doing, stilts or birds or juggles or late Ken flips. Like, it's just another trick that people are doing, and it's just the trend right now. So like the trend will change tomorrow. The trend will change next week. Maybe it won't. This one's a pretty good one, but there's nothing wrong with it. I love watching all Kendamas. I still watch all those tricks, and I still have a high level of respect for anyone who can do those tricks because I know how long it takes to learn those. It's not like they're easy. So as far as new gen players, nothing wrong with them whatsoever. They're just doing what they want to do, and it's just trendy right now. So I guess I would say you don't always have to do what the trend is. Like I've kind of always not
don't follow it. Yeah,
the stuff that I do is very different than I feel like a lot of players these days. So now I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but I guess main question, I think new gen players are sick. It's not my favorite style of play, but I also don't like not watch it. It's not like I'm like, fuck that trick.
Yeah.
If you've heard me say that, I'm 100% joking. Like, unless I'm like ranting like I am now. But like, if I'm like, yo, fuck your cloud bounces. I don't hate on cloud bounces. Like, or I don't hate cloud bounces. I'll hate on them when I'm talking to like Dylan or like Alex, you know, or like Colin Hislop. But that's because they're like my boys and they know I'm kidding, you know, and I'm not. And like, don't take it too seriously. Like, if you can do that trick, like, much respect. Yeah.
Next one, throws before hose. Wyatt, do you have anything special to do? Prep your Tamas, like quarter the bevel or anything like that.
Bro, you have no idea. All my Sulab Tamas are not with me. They're in California at AJ's factory and he's boosting the bevels on all of them because I need a bigger bevel.
Whoa.
Stuff than what Sue makes. So he's boosting all the bevels on my Tamas right now and sending them back to me. And I've never been so worried in my life because he has like 12 Sulab Tamas in a box. So yeah, if you want to like hit a lick, like come infiltrate this package on its way from Cali to Portland and refill me up. Yeah, trust. That's like one thing where it's not the end of the world. I didn't have to, but I just asked and I was like, do you have the capability of boosting bevel? Like, is this something I could pay you for? And he was like, yeah, actually, it's definitely something I can do. And he showed me a picture of the bevel size that he does, and it's exactly what no jumpers are, which are my favorite. So I was like, yeah, do that. Can you do that to all these Tamas? And he's like, yeah, if you send them to me, yes. And I was like, I'm going to be doing that. Let's do it. But yeah, so there's that. I sharpen my spikes. Where is it?
You sharpen them?
Yeah, let me just grab my kit real quick. Sorry, I'm really excited now that someone asked. There's a kit. God, this is perfect, bro. I have it all right here.
Next to what?
You can probably see Kiana sleeping. Sorry. Okay, so this super glue in particular, you can find it at the Dollar Tree, not the dollar store, but the Dollar Tree. This super glue I've been trying to get because I've been trying to like flex with my purple super glue.
Leaves the Ken purple?
The crazy glue that's purple, and you glue it, and once it dries, it turns not purple, but it goes on purple. I wish I had one laying around. It's really good, but it's been bothering me because it dries funny. It dries finicky and like doesn't create a shell to where this super glue, it creates a shell around your spike. So I'll first take this metal sharpener, and you need the metal one, and I'll just take the spear because it's standing right here, even though it's already glued. And then I'll sharpen it in here. You can probably see.
You're taking like a steel industrial pencil sharpener to that.
Yeah, and you can get these at like an art shop. You have to get them at like an art shop.
So Sweets wasn't right back in 2014 when he was sharpening up his spikes.
What was it?
With a pencil sharpener. He put that on Facebook. He's like, I got the perfect solve for everyone out there who's been worried about their flat spikes. Pencil sharpener. And he came out with a pencil pretty much.
But yeah, so I do this to my cans, and it makes them like super sharp. Like it makes them like a really nice. That's not even done. It's not even done. That's like
all right. It's not bad though. It's not bad. It's not like a full on like pencil actual like the where the angle is pretty long.
Oh no! You don't make it like
you don't get that deep. Yeah.
Here, but look at that.
All right. I mean, it looks a little thrash right at the tip, but the glue.
Bro, here, that's
hopefully. All right. No, you don't have it.
No, now I gotta fix it.
Go full on.
So now it's got that little weird thrash.
You can, yeah.
Pick that off.
Get rid of that. Get rid of that little skin tag.
And now look at that.
Okay.
Little hack. But then you glue it with this glue, and it creates a shell around it, and then it's like it's just the best way. I've been doing that for probably like 3 years, and I haven't stopped since. But it took me a while to find the super glue. Sometimes I'll lose track of it, and I thought the Dollar Tree got rid of it for a while, but I found it, so I literally bought 3 packs of them. So I
there you go. Yeah. So there it is. You got show. So what is it called? Everyone wants to know.
Dollar Tree. I got them at the Dollar Tree. You can get them on Amazon, but they rip you off on Amazon. It's like $4 or something. The Dollar Tree, this is $1. You feel me?
But it's super glue. What is it called?
The original Super Glue Corporation. I think it's literally the Super Glue Corporation.
The OGs of super glue.
Works best in clean off-purpose surfaces.
So other than that, before, so how about talking Tamas really quickly? Before you asked AJ to boost the bevels, is there something you did? Did you quarter Did you do the concrete? Did you just grind them?
I have no solution for my bevels to make them bigger. That's what sucks is like, I still like, that is like my dream. Whatever. Cause if someone can create it better on you, but if it's to create a device that boosts your bevels to like how I like them. And I like them. And I do scrape them on the ground sometimes too. I will do that if I'm doing like a stall trick. I'll just take a freshie and scrape it on the ground and it's ready to stall, you know, because I can't, I'm not good enough at stalls to just do them straight out of the box. But
yeah,
this is just a fresh burrito mod, but that's how big I like it. So like, look at that compared to like a soul. Like here's a soul right out the box, and here's
the reason. Okay. Yep. Yep. That's a big one. Dude, have you tried the remember the Jared Porter mods from Deal With It? Did you try this?
Yeah,
the different stuff? Yeah. Was it out like that?
It's been years since I've played it. Like I played the original Jared.
Those were big.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I haven't played it in a really long time. But yeah, I like a really big bet. Just for spikes and for stalls. For stalls, it helps so much. Like when me and Kiana were filming that trick, she took my Kendama because it was just so big. I was like, here, try this out. And she was like, what the fuck? And the one she had's pretty big already. It was the Bish.
There you go. Yeah. Ooh, well, I mean, those bigger cups too, you need a bigger bevel to lock in for those stalls, where in the grade, you know, that's just what the formula is from. It cup size to, bevel ratio. Oh, damn, these questions are coming in hard. One just for me from Jake. When's the next Nerds episode coming? Give me another week or two. It's a good one.
Who is it?
It is for everyone right now. Who knows? It's Tokyo May from Kendama.
Oh, well, that's actually pretty fire. I'm ready for that.
It's a deep one. Okay, thoughts on new gym players? You got that one. Here we go from Boston. Brett asks, what is your ideal Kendama competition like? I know you're a freestyle guy. Open at all? Or you stick to freestyle?
I do open. I skipped it at Nashville this year, which is kind of weird because I skipped it last Nashville. Last Battle of the Border, I was working for No Jumper doing like a bunch of shit. So I was just too busy and I was like, I need to take a day to where I can focus on all that. But this year I wasn't doing shit for them. So I was like kind of open to do open, but I just didn't want to. So I skipped it. But I guess, sorry, I'm spewing. I was just saying this battle, I kind of came up with this idea, and it's not necessarily my ideal. I don't know if it would work, but something that I would love to see is someone do like a double elimination open freestyle. So like anyone can enter the freestyle. It's up for everyone, or maybe cap it at 72 or something, or whatever you want to do in that. But then do top 16 invite only open division. So there's only 16 players in open, because the way I see open is. The way I've always seen open at every competition is they have 4 players going at once on a stage.
Yeah.
They all compete, and then it gets down to the top 8, and then they do 2 players, and then once it's down to the last 4 competitors, they do 1 on a stage at a time. That's because, if we're being honest, open's pretty boring to watch for the most part. Like they're going for like basic tricks, and sometimes the games can go on forever.
Yep.
A lot of people enter that aren't necessarily that good for those tricks, but in that situation, can't always land them all. And this is like also me saying this, and I probably wouldn't make it into all these top 16 competition opens, you know. But if they did an invite only where it's open top 16 players and invite only, you know every match is going to be insane. Like, you know those top 16 players are going to be super honed. So pretty much you can make those 1v1 matches that you put on stage, and it almost turns into like a golf competition where it's like, I've seen a couple open matches where everyone's dead silent and you're just watching, and then someone lands and everyone's, and then they move on to the next player and they go back and forth. And to me, that's kind of, if the crowd's respectful of the open, then it's a lot better to watch and it's a lot more intense. But also it's very, I guess you could say, consistency based, which is great, but you're also watching someone do Bird Over the Valley, which is cool, but it's not that cool compared to where you had top 72 freestyle. I always hear people being like, man, I know I can enter I want to enter freestyle, but it's invite only. So if you did 72 double elimination, I know that's a lot. But then every match, so like an open, you're doing 4 at a time because they're not going to be that entertained, or every match of freestyle is going to be entertaining. Or even if someone misses you have a time limit of 45 seconds for that person to round. So if someone misses every round, or both of them miss every round, it's going to still be pretty easy for the judges to judge it. I think that's kind of the biggest issue is the judging. But you're going to get down to those top players are still going to make it to the end. And you're going to have super, super entertaining matches pretty much throughout the entire event. So maybe cap it at a certain number, but if it was freestyle was the main event and you had freestyle for an entire day and you started in the beginning all the way to the end, like if you started at 8 a.m., yeah, actually, see now I'm spewing, but I guess what I'm getting at is make open invite and make freestyle pretty much anyone can enter. Everyone can enter freestyle. They can get a taste of what it's like to like be on that stage, and they can have 45 seconds to not have to go for bird over the value of pretty much anything they want. I bet we'd see a lot of players make it pretty far that you probably wouldn't expect as well, because they don't really get that opportunity all the time.
Yeah, and vice versa. A lot of like skilled players just like shit the bed.
Exactly. So
that happens.
I think that would be really cool to see, and I'm big on freestyle, and I think it's kind of weird how we're all still kind of stuck on this idea of open being the main competition. I've never really liked open. I've never really thought it was that fun. And I always think it's like, damn, I just lost to this person because I missed my pull-up spike. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That kind of sucks.
It goes back to like the JKA type stuff where it's all about consistency. I see open as it's for the competitors. It's not for the audience. Where freestyle, it's more of a good balance of both.
Yeah, so good balance of both. And I think it still shows who's the best there, but just not the best at the basics, but the best at like Kendama at that time, you know? And maybe that, I don't know, I almost take that statement back, but like it just shows what's up with what's going on in the world of Kendama at that time. And it's also always entertaining for the outside audience to watch, you know what I mean? It's just an entertaining match. Totally. You're never going to have two freestyle matches going on at once, and you won't need to, I don't think, because you'll be able to gauge how long it's going to take based on the fact that it's 45 seconds, 45 seconds, 45 seconds, 45 seconds, judges vote, next round. You know what I mean? Towards an open match can last all day if people keep missing, you know?
Yeah, so, I mean, dude, or hey, anyone who's creating Kendama competitions can take some, look towards music festivals. Maybe get some ideas there where it's like, yeah, we have like however like 100 bands on this bill for these 2 days, and guess what? We have 4 stages, and you have to figure out which one you're going to go and watch and pay attention.
Yeah, exactly.
That's something else that possibly could go down. You know, like have one event, 2 stages on each end.
Oh.
That's freestyle. There's open. You need to be where you want to be when you need to be there.
True. I feel like Kendama might not be big enough for that, but I see what you're saying.
Let's test out the waters. I mean, that's true. That's true. But it seems like, you know, for the most part, people who go are more on the side of they want to play. So having the whole audience kind of vibe, for me, it's kind of like when I was watching online, like the freestyle comps and stuff, like, I don't know, maybe it was just because like there was no like room mic so I could hear everyone. But I feel like, I don't know, people were like just not so energetic. Could have been the time or something. I usually just compare freestyle events to catch and flow, which possibly, because I haven't experienced one.
Wow.
You got to tell me, like, because
I know I know at NACO, people were talking about how the freestyle was more hype than the open. And no disrespect to open, and I know I'm kind of biased because I won that one too, but I think
energy's different.
I guess people were like, bro, that was wild. Like, people were really tripping over freestyle, and like, not like open wasn't that great, but like open was kind of like felt like the main event this year is kind of what they were saying. And like, again, no disrespect to what anyone's doing, but like freestyle got paid less. The winner got paid less for freestyle that year than they did open. And I'm not always paying attention to that, but I know that because I just end up winning that one, you know? So I was like, dang, maybe, I don't know. And I've always kind of thought freestyle should be the main event. And then at Nashville, it was even. It was 500 for freestyle, 500 for open. And I was like, damn, that's really cool. Maybe they're transitioning into that. So to try to push into that direction, it's kind of like, I think that'd be a cool push. But yeah, another random thought I had, which we used to do at the COTK battles. We'd always have. We'd always do competitions in Portland back during the COTK days. And how we would do it is speed ladder, but it would be 1 versus 1. So like if me and you are playing each other, MJ, be we'd put the speed ladder tricks out, right? Spike, earth turn, whirlwind, jumping stick. And me and you would play.
Okay.
We'd go, and whoever finished first wins. And that was some of the most intense matches I have ever seen, or at least my energy-wise, watching these go down. And we'd always film them because sometimes people would spike like milliseconds after the other one. So we'd have instant replay, and the judges would go back and watch. It was just really intense, and it was really fun to watch for the audience. It was always a great time. The only problem we ran into was if two people couldn't do the tricks, because then you're kind of stuck there all day. But that's kind of any sport. Like at that point, you just have to make sure. And we only did it for pro. We only did it for pro because we knew people would maybe not be able to get it if it was the lower levels. So like beginner, intermediate, advanced, it was always just regular speed ladder. Pro, speed ladder, 1v1, top 16 tournament, whatever. And we had some wild matches, like some fun ones too. Like, it was great.
Yes. I mean, dude, going back to, what was it, like one of the online NACOs where the Joker, Sweets' Joker, what was his name? Snowboarder dude. I know where I'm farting on his name. It is Juicy. Where he took the Sakura, it was Sakura Classic. It was a Sakura Classic
BB Carter. That was wild.
At that, and it was all onto the Mosh comment. And I herald back to the times that I asked, and I've mentioned this before to anyone who's followed me on my Kendama talks and stuff, of back in the day, like trying to make events like every month at Sioux Lab. We would have our monthly like events where people would get together. We would do an event and stuff, and we had these competitions. And I look back over to the Ken Garden and stuff. They were doing it from back in the day. So I reached out to Matt Rice, and I was like, what's something that works really well for like different types of skill levels and stuff? It's always, takes a lot of time and effort to create a new speed ladder bracket or trick list every time. And he's like, you know what? He's like, we've been doing it for a long time, and we've had those skill levels, beginner, intermediate, advanced. And of course, they're all fun and good and whatnot. He's like, but the best ones that we've ever experienced is when we use the beginner bracket, the beginner tricks, for all skill levels. Because when it comes down to the pros and they're doing beginner level tricks, it's really up to just exact precision and speed. And that's when you get flustered, you get the butterflies as the players who are playing, and then as the audience, everyone's on their feet to see who's going to get that last spike.
Oh my God. Bro, that just reminds me of Sakura Classic when D Westy was like one of the best in the competition, like at the time, for sure. And he's and I was judging his round. I was one of the judges. It was like when all the pros were like judging the AMs pretty much. And he was the first to get to motion comment, and he kept missing spike. And then he didn't make it to the next round. No. I was like, to make it to open, was he just have to, the top three who should do trick B or whatever it is. And he fucking missed in the last trick his motion comment. And like, no offense, but like some kids that were not like some Groms, like some kids that were not that good at Kendama definitely beat him in that round. And it was like, all of us were like, holy shit, not in the next round. Like I just looking back on that, like that was great.
Mosh comment. Definitely leaves an impression on you. Everyone, our time is whittling down. This will be the last question. We have a lot of great ones coming through, but
we've been on a minute.
Here's the last one from Kendama Cares. What has remained the most consistent source of inspiration for you since the very beginning of your Kendama?
God, that's such a deep question. I don't know.
What keeps you grinding? Keeps you going, motivated?
I don't know. It's kind of what I do. Like, I've been doing it for 10 years. Kind of not like all I know. I mean, recently my inspiration's dwindled a little bit. I've been kind of just like set off by the community as a whole. Like, not in a bad, we don't get too deep into that, but like, yeah, I guess. So it's good to know, like, recently I've been a lot less inspired, I guess, for that reason. But then I find like, I really like to play Kendama. So I went out I've been roller skating a lot and like really honing in like a different craft besides Kendama. Like when I do something, I get really addicted to it. So like, I started playing Kendama 10 years ago, but before I did that, I was like on my snowboard team, and I went up 4 or 5 times a week consistently. I was competing. I was really into it. So I guess 10 years later, I've been kind of getting a little laggy this past couple months on Kendama and roller skating a lot. And I still find that I can't give up Kendama. Like, I still go back to it. And I think the main reason is, one, I love it. Like, I just love playing. I love filming. I love being good at the game. Like, I love being good at stuff. And I can't stop playing it. But I guess also it's just like certain people that I play with, or not get to play with, but I think like Dylan's a big inspiration for me. D Westy, like watching him play and like still grind after all this time is like a big deal to me. Rod's been a big inspiration recently. Like, he's been in the game for longer than I have, and he still plays at a high level, and he still grinds and still puts in mad work. Alex has been really inspiring me recently. Alex is like big on that like Mamba mentality where it's like just all in and just like grinding and really putting in work. And I don't know, and that's kind of how I am. So like, one, I just love Kendama. It's my favorite thing to do in the entire world. There's nothing I like to do more than play Kendama. And even getting turned off by like the Kendama culture recently, I guess to say, not to say like it sucks, but just like it's just turned me off a little bit recently. But I still would play even if there was no culture and it was just I was the only person on earth that played Kendama and no one else played. I would still be playing, still be filming and doing just as hard. And I kind of found that. So I guess just the pure love that I have for the sport keeps me really inspired. And then certain players in the game that are just really pushing in the direction that I want to see Kendama go have also been a big inspiration for me to just, I guess, keep going. Yeah.
Wyatt Bray, thank you so much for joining me this week for Weekly Dama News. Everyone, thanks for joining as well. We've had a good number of people jamming. Last time you were here in Japan, I remember you mentioning that, you wanted to get a nerd episode in, and there's been a lot of things that have changed in your situation, your life, Wyatt, since our last one. You were still on Kusa at that time. So everyone, hopefully, the just beginning of this year, so we'll hopefully get Wyatt on for volume 2, going in deeper about his Kendama passion and his progression and his journey. But that is it for this one. It's not an episode. We're just weekly. We're just talking news. We're just going Dama nerds at this point. It's crazy. But
bring me back on for Dama nerds. I guess that's the only thing I want to say is like, bring me back. I want to be back. I want to do this. I want to talk about like, just everything. Yeah, I want to go hard with you guys again.
Exactly. So we'll make that happen, everyone. But this is just a little quick interview and chat with Wyatt because we wanted to feature him as he is a new sponsored player for Sulab, the only one right now out of Japan who is sponsored. So send him love. We all do already. So that said, everyone, Weekly Dama News. You can find me doing this every Sunday. Usually it's Sunday mornings, which is maybe good for the East Coast. Maybe over the West Coast, it's super early for you guys. So we'll see what happens. But if you don't catch these, I do keep these archived on the IG account. And then I steal them from here because it's really a bad place to watch replays. Put them up on YouTube so you can go scroll through a lot easier, as well as a podcast version. So if you check out your podcast or YouTube, type in Weekly Dama News and you can find all of the past episodes and whatnot. But thank you so much, Wyatt, again, for taking the time out, chatting with me, shooting the shit.
Yeah, of course, bro. This is great. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Hell yeah. Everyone, thank you so much. We'll see you next week for another Weekly Dama News. That is it. Bray, everyone, keep it clean.